Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Riva TV. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. I think this one's going to put a smile on our face.
You want to know what changed? He started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit. He started listening to content about MGTOW, and that man changed. The repercussions that red pill content have on men, because the person that I wanted to spend my life with changed. Increase in all of these red pill podcasts has literally poisoned the minds of men.
Sorry for poisoning your guys' minds.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. Now, this video is really interesting. I saw it when I was scrolling through the wonderful world of TikTok, but what was very interesting is that I've literally seen people have conversations like this in real life, so I was very much intrigued on this video. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, then I'm going to pause and play and give you guys my thoughts on this entire conversation.
I was with my best friend from 19 to 26 years old. That dude was my everything, okay? This is the story that he would tell everybody when they would ask what kind of person I am. We've been together for like 2.5 years at this point, maybe 2 years, and he had gotten signed to Universal Music, an amazing producer, artist, fantastic. And he was living in Vegas, and I showed up at his place in Vegas for the first time since he had moved there. And this man was sleeping on a blow-up mattress. And I was like, there is no way that the man that I love is going to sleep on a blow-up mattress. I had no job at this point. I had just moved to the U.S., was getting my green card. I couldn't work. With the little money that I did have, I went and I bought him a mattress and put it in the back of my Passat, okay? And then proceeded to carry that mattress up 3 flights of stairs at like 9 o'clock in the morning in the scorching Vegas heat. Walk in there, I'm like panting, sweating, because
the way they describe just normal behavior that you do for other people as if it was just so strenuous and so hard. Oh my God, the heat, the sweat that I had to endure to do a nice gesture for you.
That's what you do when you love somebody.
Before we go any further, I constantly talk about on this channel, like over and over again, how women will do things that nobody asked them to do.
Yep.
And then if they don't get the praise that they feel that they deserve for doing said things, then that makes that person a bad guy, or
Yep.
you know, that means that you know, that person didn't appreciate them, or whatever the case is. And I'm only saying that because she said that she didn't want him sleeping on the floor, and so she you know, took it up on herself to buy him a mattress, which is a very nice gesture. But you could have told him that you purchased it for him, and, you know, the two of you could have carried it up there together.
Correct.
It didn't have to be a surprise.
Correct.
It didn't have to be you know, all the above. It didn't have to be you, you know, in your masculine energy trying to, you know, save the day. That situation didn't have to happen. So you doing that,
and I'm sure the man didn't even care for the mattress anyways,
is a nice gesture, yes, but he obviously was comfortable in the situation that he was in, hence why he was sleeping on the floor. You probably would not have been comfortable in that situation, hence why you purchased
Correct.
that, you know, for him, but also for you.
Correct. Because you spent the money on the mattress and he ain't really sleeping on it. You're the ones probably sleeping on it.
That's the kind of person that I am in a relationship.
Sure.
I will give
Self-sacrificing,
100% of myself and the last bit of energy that I have because I love you. That is what a woman does.
Sure.
Yeah, we can talk about how I cooked and cleaned for him and helped him with his business and helped him become a millionaire, and now he lives in a nice penthouse apartment in Vancouver.
You helped him become a millionaire? You just said he signed with a big production and all these other things, so he was already on his way. You didn't do anything.
I don't need to talk about that because I know what kind of woman I am when I show up in a relationship. You want to know I ruined that relationship? We were long distance for a period of time. I went during the pandemic and I was staying with him in Vancouver, and something changed. And you want to know what changed? He started watching podcasts like Fresh and Fit. He started listening to content about MGTOW, and that man changed.
You know, MGTOW, I never knew that it was pronounced that way. I just thought it was men going their own way. I never knew that there was like a MGTOW.
Really, Riva? You didn't know that's how we pronounced it? MGTOW? All right, I'll give it to you, Riva. You're too awesome for me to ever really question you on, like, if you didn't know something.
MGTOW, like a abbreviation for that. I had no idea. But again, I think that a lot of women have to hear this part of the conversation, right? you're in a relationship with somebody, and a lot of women don't understand the things that they are doing under the guise of manipulation within relationships, acting as...
That's the part that a lot of us men that are in this understand what's going on. You're doing these things to manipulate my feelings. You're doing these things to manipulate things so I can do certain things for you.
As if they are the best partner to be with. If you understand what I'm saying. Like,
Yep.
You're in a relationship with this man and you're like, I'll give 100%, I'll give 110%, I'll give all of my energy into you. And that person is not asking you to do that. They're asking you to, yes, be supportive, be a good partner, share space with them. But again, everything that she said in the beginning of her getting a mattress for him, throwing in her passat and taking it up the stairs is giving very much masculine energy.
Yep.
And I would sit across from him and not understand the person that I was seeing. I felt like I was waking up to somebody that I did not know. I am qualified to talk about this shit. I am qualified to understand the repercussions that red pill content have on men, because the person that I wanted to spend my life with, the person I was in love with, the person I wanted to marry changed overnight because of the content like that. And I see now the men who do watch that content, I hear the things that they say because I would listen to it. I actually started consuming that content because I wanted to understand what happened.
Do you believe that he changed because of that content? Or do you believe that he understood that, wait, it's not about happy wife, happy life. It's not about the fact that, I'm supposed to bow down to my girl
Correct.
and do whatever she says. It's not about the fact that she, who he was obviously in a relationship, has this dominant personality and dominant energy. I can, just even through this conversation,
Correct.
she seems very controlling.
Yep.
She seems very controlling, dominated, strong-headed, her way or the highway. She's going to argue you down. That's how she seems. And maybe because she was so giving and because she had done so many things in the relationship,
the guy just didn't think anything of it, right?
She felt that maybe her attitude or her boss nature could be overlooked because of all the things that she was doing. A lot of women get this wrong. Just because you are assisting this man.
You're right, girl. I think you're right that a lot of women, even with that boss babe attitude, they think if they just do some of the things that men want, they'll still deal with that boss babe attitude. And no, we won't.
Man in his dreams, just because you are cooking and cleaning, just because you're doing all that, what trumps all those things is disrespect. If you
Entitlement. As soon as and drop of entitlement comes into the relationship and you feel like I have to do something or whatever it is, that relationship ends. That's how I always feel. Because the things I'm doing for you now is because I want to do them, not that I have to do them.
You're not respectful of him, if you don't respect him as a man, if you don't know your space within the relationship, all that stuff doesn't matter. So I would be led to believe that maybe it's not the content, in my personal opinion, that possibly changed him. Maybe he just, had these inner thoughts, didn't know other people out there thought a certain way, and was like, you know what?
She's right. Riva is spot on this. This is how a lot of men get into the red pill and all this space, because they're like, am I the only one experiencing this? Am I the only one that's kind of like, do I have a good woman, but she has a horrible attitude, but she does all these things for me? Most men think that they are by themselves, as in what they're experiencing, nobody else is really experiencing all that much. So when they see things on the internet, they see a Cambodian guy talking about these things, they see a black guy talking about these things, they see a Hispanic guy talking about these things, and you're not of those cultures, you're like, oh, men of other races and creed and height and backgrounds and cultures all are experiencing very similar to me. What's going on?
Maybe I'm not so crazy for my inner thoughts.
Correct.
To all the men who asked me that question, there's your answer.
So I guess this person asked her, what do you bring into a man's life? And it looks like it stemmed from a different video.
Every time I have interactions with men, I am just more and more appalled and disgusted by men and the behavior of men towards women.
So this is very interesting, right? Like, I can see why that person left that comment just based off of what she said so far. And she's saying that she's been, repulsed by the way in which men see women and how they deal with them and stuff like that. And I kind of wish that women had that same energy for the change of pace when it comes to men dealing with women in relationships and put their eyes on how the women around them are behaving. Because there are women out there, okay, who have created the space based off of, again, disrespect, based off of their unwillingness to compromise, based off of this bow down to us mentality, that has caused this ripple effect. Let's not forget, feminism was first. Okay, red pill content came out the other day. Shouldn't you be mad?
I wouldn't say. You know what? You're right, Riva. The red pill content did not come out until more recently, but red pill has always been there. It was just much harder for men to kind of get access to it because men, we didn't really communicate that much. Without social media, without all of these things, we were only with the people that were around us. So, but the sense of community was much stronger back in the day. So where men actually did have conversations about these things, I think.
And at the women who have had that strong gaze of, feminism and again, men don't matter, men don't have feelings, men don't have emotions, and the world revolves around us. Don't you believe that that is what sparked the change within relationships?
Like, dating in my early 20s, men actually had respect for women, relatively. You at least felt like a human being around them. You at least felt like they saw you as a human and not just an object. But the increase in all of these red pill podcasts and women hating behavior on the internet has literally poisoned the minds of men. And it was to the point that
there's men hating behavior all over the place. You hate that men are broke. You hate that men that are catcall. You hate that men that do this. You hate that men do that. We're just putting a mirror on everything. Like, we also dislike these things.
I just stopped dating entirely for the last 6 months or so. I've been trying to give dating a chance again lately. I've even been trying to date guys who are not, my typical type. Yeah, even dating guys who are not my typical type has not fixed the issue.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there are not extremists, right? There are extremists. There are extremists who are like, we don't need women. Women are horrible. Why would we ever need a woman? Like, there are extremists in any space, right? In any single space that you could think of, there's always going to be people who are extremists. And I do understand that, right? However, there's usually a villain story, right? Like, there's usually something that occurred. There's usually something that happened. And when women see men adjusting or maneuvering a certain way, the main women who are having a problem with that are the women who felt like they had control over said men. And when they feel like their control has been relinquished, now they have such a big problem. But again, let's turn these tables around. With all these feminist talk, I'm a boss chick, I run men, men got to bow down to me, and I'm, whatever the case is, I'm the center of the universe, and everybody.
Can you imagine that if I said, women have to bow down to us? Probably get canceled really quickly.
Everybody has to, cool my flame, or everybody has to comfort my feelings or my emotions and stuff like that. Men have been on the opposite side of the conversation. It's so interesting that women are okay with men doing that. But now when men are standing up for themselves and creating standards for themselves, all of a sudden it's an issue.
In fact, actually, it's worse. What the fuck is a girl to do? Give up? I always have dated guys who were 10, 15 years older than me because I've been dating guys around my age lately. And
yeah, because again, she's dating the Chad Rohns of the world, the top tier men of the world. That's why they're just treating her like crap. She experiences the same thing with all these men.
Girl, no.
I have a random question. Is there any part within you that feels like maybe you could be part of the problem?
Nope. Never.
Is there anything within you that feels like maybe you have, created this mindset of it has to be perfect, or this man has to be this specific way, or this man has to follow the guidelines of everything that I think is perfect? Is that a possibility? And the reason why I really wanted to talk about this is, it's not to bash this woman. It's more so because I've heard a lot of women speak like this. Right? They're like, oh my gosh, these people who follow, Andrew Tate, and these people who watch these certain podcasts, it's ruining their minds. But it's if you just go on regular social media, the information overload out there for regular women, and this is in ad campaigns, this is if you're just scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, like the consensus is women rule the world.
Yep.
And you don't need a man. You could do battle by yourself. You know, you don't need them. Men just bring stress, pain, and drama. Like, that is the consensus of what everybody is pushing to the forefront.
Yep. Not that we're
so
assets.
Now that there's pushback and men are standing up for themselves, I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to deal with that. Yeah, as a matter of fact, what are you bringing to the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, what are you bringing into my life? What value do you hold besides stressing me out and crying?
And cat.
Think it's reasonable questions. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below.
No, Riva, I think most men are lost. They're completely lost. They don't know how to navigate themselves in relationships properly. They don't know how to navigate a lot of things. They take a lot of shit from, women because they don't know what to do or how to handle a lot of these things. And women take advantage of it greatly. Greatly. And when men see the red pill and experience the manosphere and all these things, and all it does is just opens up their eyes to the behavior of women. Instead of us kind of just co-signing these red flags away, now we see them for what they are. Horrible red flags, and these people are horrible people sometimes. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I guess